Hello, everybody, and welcome to what will be the final World War I video. We last left off with just about the closing of the war, uh, and the collapse of Germany. So, during this time, Germany and Germany and its allies, Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. Well, the Ottoman Empire pretty much fell apart now. Had already pretty much been collapsed. So they were just, right now, on the final days of the war, November 11th, 1918, ironically, even though it was the last day of the war and Germany had already lost, it was incredibly bloody. Thousands of lives literally were lost for no reason. The war had already ended. Yet thousands of people were killed on the last day of the war. This inspired the poem In Flanders Field and All Quiet on the Western Front. So, at the Paris Peace Conference, which was pretty much discussing what would be the treaty in which everyone would have to sign, uh, only the only the four main guys were invited. I mean, there were other diplomats, but the four main ones were Woodrow Wilson from America, George Clemenceau from France, or Georges, David Lloyd George from England, and Vittorio Orlando from Italy. Even though they were on the side of the Germans at the beginning, and then neutral in the middle, and then on our side towards the end, yeah, they were still invited. So they basically just talked about how Germany was to blame and how they'll all pay for the damages. Now give me a second while I look for the paper on the treaties, causes, soldier. I literally have a pile of papers right next to me. Here we go. These were Woodrow Wilson's 14 points, which were kind of guidelines for the treaty. Open convents for peace openly arrived, after which there should be no private international understanding of any kind of diplomacy, shall proceed always frankly and in public view. In layman's terms, if you're going to be allied with somebody, you have to tell pretty much everybody else you're allied with somebody, and that you can't pretty much secretly declare an ally in the middle of war like Germany tried to do with Mexico. And absolute freedom of navigation upon the seas outside territorial waters, alike in peace and in war. Meaning, America can go to Britain if it wants during World War I, and without having to be worried about being sunk by German U-boats. Which was, and this is from America's point of view, and we're pretty much looking out for nothing but ourselves. At the removal, so far as possible, of all economic barriers and establishment of an equality of trade conditions amongst all nations. This being because Germany had pretty much a blockade around it, keeping it from doing any trade during World War I. And America wanted to make money. So, no embargoes. Adequate guarantees given that and taken that national armament will be reduced to the lowest point consistent with domestic safety. Meaning, you should only have an army enough to defend yourself. You can't bolster it during peacetime, which kind of caused England to be a little angry at Germany, due to the fact, as I discussed earlier, that it was the first-rate navy power and Germany was bolstering its navy during peacetime. 5. A free, open-minded, and absolutely impartial judgment or decision of all colonial claims based upon a strict observation of principles that determine all such questions of sovereignty, self-determination, and interests of the populations concerned must have equal weight with equitable claims of government whose title is to be determined. So that's saying the people of places in which you're trying to take over have a right to say. Meaning, Austria-Hungary, you don't give that completely unreasonable terms to Serbia. You give something reasonable. You can have mutter something out. And 6 was omitted. 7. Belgium, the whole world will agree, must be evacuated and restored. Remember, soldiers from both sides are there, trench warfare, without any attempt to limit the sovereignty in which she enjoys in common with all other free nations. And by that they mean make sure everybody gets home safe and sound. And Germany, Austria-Hungary, fix the mess you made in Belgium. And they didn't entirely do that. Because there are a ton of trenches still there. They didn't fill in the trenches. That's what I call a half-assed job. Pardon my French. And to any French viewers I have, pardon my English. 8. All French territory should be freed and the invaded portions restored in order that the peace may be once more made secure in the interest of all. That means Germany, give all the land that you stole from everybody back. 9. The readjustment of the frontiers of Italy should be effected along clearly recognized lines of nationality. Meaning, Austria-Hungary, stop picking on Italy. We're gonna have a clear border. That's Italy. That's Austria-Hungary. And since we're talking about Austria-Hungary, 10. The people of Austria-Hungary should be accorded with the freest opportunity to the autonomous development, i.e. self-determination. And by that they mean break up Austria-Hungary into Austria and Hungary. 11. Romania, Serbia, and Montenegro should be evacuated by any soldiers there. Occupied territories restored. Serbia accorded free and secure access to the sea and international guarantees of the political and economic independence and territorial integrity of several Balkan states should be entered into. That means Germany, whatever behind the back deals you did with Russia, you gotta let those guys free. And Serbia, you're your own country now. Go back, you're not part of Austria-Hungary, which is no longer even Austria-Hungary, it's just Austria and Hungary. 12. The Turkish portions of the Ottoman Empire should be assured a secure sovereignty, but other nationalities which are now under the Turkish rule should be assured an opportunity of autonomous development. Meaning, the Turkish part of the Ottoman Empire, you're Turkey, and any other areas in the Ottoman Empire, you'll form your own little countries or join another country. So pretty much cutting up the Ottoman Empire. 13. An independent Polish state should be erected and should include the territories inhabited by the Polish populace, which should be assured by a free and secure access to the sea, and whose political and economic independence and territorial integrity should be guaranteed by international covenant. Meaning, Poland, you're now a country! And finally, 14. A general association of nations must be formed under a specific convent for the purpose and affording mutual guarantees of political independence and territorial integrity to great and small states alike. Meaning, they're creating the League of Nations, which wasn't really ever effective. And the ultimate peace treaty, if you can call it a peace treaty, was the Treaty of Versailles. And Article 231 of that put all the blame on Germany. Why are we blaming Germany? If anything, the most to blame is Austria-Hungary for, in my opinion at least, Austria-Hungary for doing that outrageous act. I mean, they blamed the entire country for one radical group. And although Russia had no political need to back up Serbia, I bet a lot of people in Russia kind of had some sort of moral duty to back up Serbia, and their fellow Slavics. But a lot of people blame Russia. I blame Austria-Hungary. And war reparations, meaning Germany, you pay for everything. Germany and Austria-Hungary, whatever money you have left, give it to us and pay for whatever you ruined. And that basically also, since they didn't have enough to pay for all that, they said whatever profits your country make, we'll slowly drain your country dry to get our money back. And America, for some reason, being the fair country that it sometimes is, didn't want to sign this Treaty of Versailles. They didn't want to blame Germany. They didn't want to piss off anybody. They just, actually didn't sign the peace treaty. They didn't join the League of Nations. They just let the whole little thing roll itself out, and then America contacted Germany saying, look, we'll have our own treaty with you. It'll be just between the two of us. And it was a much better treaty for Germany and America alike. So basically, everything was going back to the way it was. And one of the parts of it was that all the land that was once changed is going back to the map of 1871, meaning the Franco-Prussian War didn't happen, which meant France gets Alsace-Lorraine back. Yay, France! And Germany was really mad about this because it literally meant the war was for nothing. Thousands dead for nothing gained. And rightfully so, they were mad. And this eventually led to World War II. But before we cover World War II, I'm going to quickly cover the influenza epidemic. The disease that came from the whole war was brought over by all the ships going back and forth transporting troops, brought the epidemic to America and the British Empire, which pretty much meant a deadly flu virus, killing pretty much whatever populace was left, pretty much a lot of people from that weren't even in the war. That's a lot of blood and death. Thank you for putting up with me, and have a wonderful day. Bye.